friendos, welcome back to my channel, or if it is your first time here, hello! My name is Laurel. I'm not a pro MUA, I'm just a weirdo that likes collecting and experimenting with really nice beauty products. Now for today's video, as you probably already know from the title, we are testing out some brushes from Nikkia Joy's brand, Nikkia Joy Cosmetics. So I wanted to preface today's video by letting you all know, Nikkia Joy is someone that I watch on YouTube mainly for her stuff on foundation and base products. This is mainly because we have similar skin types. Nikkia is very oily, I am as well. She has pores, I do too, and she has some awesome content related to hiding pores. So if that's something that you're interested in, I recommend her channel. And while Nikkia does seem to be a joy, to be honest, I haven't seen all her videos. We're not friends or anything. So I'm going to remain pretty unbiased and objective when I do my reviews. I tend to not hold back and that comes with every single product that's put in front of me. It doesn't matter who it's from. At the end of the day, makeup is makeup and facts are facts and opinions are opinions. So I won't be sugarcoating anything today. I absolutely appreciate you clicking on this video and giving it a like if you are excited to see what's in store for us today. I don't want to wait a second longer, so let's get the party started. Friendos, my sister gave me one of my Christmas presents early this year, and that is, you guessed it, I don't know how you would know already. Maybe it's because it's in the title. That's right, we're diving into the Nikkia Joy Cosmetics brushes. Now she got me 6 different eye brushes. This is how they came packaged. Not so luxurious, but I'm not hating. And the reason why is because of the panty D. As someone who owns a wholesale business, I understand how hard it is to get shipping materials that look super nice this time of year especially. So this is how they came packaged. Not too bad, it doesn't look like. Oh, it looks like this one right here. Bristles are kind of coming out. Hopefully you guys can see that. Like they're coming out of this little plastic packaging. Hopefully it's not damaged. It doesn't seem to be. Okay, that one looks good. And this is her E09 Diffuse Shader. This one is going all sorts of directions. I wonder why they landed on this packaging idea. Oh, this one actually did get damaged. See how the bristles are going topsy-turvy here? Okay, and this is her E05 Firm Blend. Hopefully I can wash this and the kinks in it come out. Then we have the E11 Smudge Brush. The E01 Cream Blend Brush. This one looks fine. The E10 Precision Shader. And lastly, we have the E06 Precision Blend. So it looks like only one of the brushes came a little bit damaged. The rest all look great. So I was watching her video and she said that these are largely a mix of synthetic and natural fibers, with some of them being completely synthetic, some of them being completely natural, and some of them being a mix of the two. So these all feel really soft. So I should definitely wash these before I use them, but am I going to? No. All of these brushes range between $12 and $14. I was pretty impressed because in her video she described these as a self-stacked brush, meaning that these are not laser cut. There is a person whose actual job it is to assemble the fibers and to make the brush by hand. My refer brushes are made in a similar fashion, and why that's special is because normally the way brushes are made is they're put on the top of the brush with some glue and then a laser actually cuts them. And what that will do is that will make the edges really blunt. Now that has both pros and cons, because one with a blunt edge, like for example this crap Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, the edges are very blunt. You can actually get more product up out of the pan quicker when you have a brush like this. However, it normally doesn't diffuse out your makeup when you go to blend as easily as a brush that is hand stacked and not laser cut. The ends of these type of brushes tend to be more tapered, and softer. So if you're someone with sensitive eyelids, you might want to try a brush that is hand stacked and not laser cut. Now, why I chose the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette is in part for two reasons. One, it's very colorful, as we can see here. I wanted you to see how each color blends out as we apply it. So by using the colorful palette, I'm able to do so, and it's more easily read on the eye, and that's R-E-A-D, I should say. It's more easily identifiable on the eye than if I were to just use, say, a neutral palette or a monochromatic palette. The second thing is I didn't want to use an A+ formulation palette, but I also didn't want to use something that is D grade either. It's okay quality palette. I would probably rate this at a B-, C+. You might feel differently. I know a lot of people like Morphe formulas. I personally don't. I do think that Jaclyn Hill's formulas for Morphe are the absolute best that Morphe has ever produced, but just in general, Morphe's not really my thing. I figured if we were going to test these brushes, we should go with something sort of middle of the road so that it's not a Sydney Grace that just blends itself, but it's also not like drugstore quality where you can barely pick up any pigment and that kind of thing. So I'm not going to prattle on any longer, I promise. Let's just get into trying out the brushes. So with the E05, we're going to go in with Positivity right here. And you guys know I normally start out with my P. Louise base. This brush definitely blended out the shade impeccably. So fast, so smooth, and it feels really nice on my eyelid. Now on the E06 Precision Blend, we'll go in with Therapy Sesh. Now I'm going to go in with Feelin' Myself on her E01 Cream Blend brush. Now obviously we're not working with any cream shadows today, but I'm just going to take this all over my lid. Okay, so it's not bad, but it's not great. Clearly this is supposed to be used for cream shadow and not dry shadow. This is dry shadow, so I'm not really holding it against the brush. Now on my lower lash line, I'm going in with the shade Temptress, this black shade with micro glitter, on the E11 Smudge Brush. I'm going in right over top of my lash line. Okay, this doesn't seem to be irritating my eyes. Usually when I get close to the lash line, even with the nicest of brushes, my lash line will start to feel irritated. So that's a very good sign. Now, friendos, on my E09, we are going in with Empowered. Now, on the E10 Precision Shader, we'll go in with the golden shade right here, the yellow gold Talia. Then I think I'll go in with Not My Journey. We're going back in on the E06 purpley shade. Just looking for a little bit more depth and dimension here. For this, I'm wiping off the E05 Firm Blend. I'm going to go back and just kind of smooth out the edges a little bit more. Now I'm going to do my other eye off camera and I'll be right back and we'll talk more about these brushes. And friendos, just like that, we are back. I have lined my lips with Buxom lip liner in Scandalous, and then in the center I've put from Jeffree Star Cosmetics Velour Liquid Lipsticks, the shade Chrysanthemum. And my lips are a little chapped thanks to this nice winter weather that we've been having, so it doesn't look the best it's ever looked, but we're just gonna keep chugging along. My blush is from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I used the shade Positivity. It was that shade that I used right in there, just above my crease. face. And now back to what you came here for, the brushes. So overall, I had a very positive experience with these brushes. They remind me a lot of my Refers. Like, the difference between them is really insignificant. They're both really soft and they apply very similarly. So if you are looking for something like Refer, but you don't want to pay that hefty price tag, I would say these are a really, really close second. I don't want to call it a dupe because clearly Nikkia put a lot of thought into how she shapes her brushes, and the shapes are noticeably different, but the application and the feel of the brushes are very similar. Now, with that said, that made me curious, why would the Refers be so much more expensive than Nikkia Joy Cosmetics? And I was looking, these products aren't made in Australia. I thought because she was from Australia that these were made in Australia, but no, they are made in China. That's probably why she's able to price them at the low price tag that they are sitting right now. So be aware of that. They are not from Australia, and I believe Refer's made in Japan. Pretty sure. Let me check. Actually, it doesn't say on my brushes, so if they're not from Japan, then I will put that in the notes for today's video. And one more thing to consider if you are thinking about purchasing some hand-stacked brushes. So they are softer. If you notice over here, the purple shade is not the absolute best blend. Like, it wasn't the worst by far, but this is just true of like really soft brushes. When a shade is really like hard pressed, like the purple in that pan is not the best purple formulation ever. It's actually hard to blend out and hard to get the product on your brush in the first place in an evenly dispensed way. So sometimes it's nice to have what Mel Thompson will refer to as a workhorse brush. In other words, one that is a little bit rougher. That can help smooth out a tough shadow a little bit quicker than using a soft brush like these are. With that said, if you put in the effort and you keep with it, it will diffuse out better long term. However, if we are just talking about placement, getting that eyeshadow from the pan to your eyelid and getting it to buff out quickly, maybe not precisely, maybe not perfectly, but just getting it on so you can get it out the door, the laser cut brushes are a little bit better at that, I've noticed. But yeah, I thought you might want to know that in case you've never used these hand stacked brushes. I didn't put in a long time of blending because I am pushed for time, so I probably could have blended this out a little bit better on the edge, but as you can tell, all the other shades that I applied went on gorgeously. They diffused out very quickly, and I don't know if I could be more pleased with the brushes overall. This one clearly intended for cream shadows. If you are looking for a shadow brush for some examples of cream shadows, they're in a few of Natasha Denona's palettes, so I will be trying this brush out with one of those particular shades so we can see how it does in a future video. And I think that's all I have to say today, guys. I hoped you all enjoyed hanging out with me. I would love to see you all again in a future video, so if you haven't done so, I really hope that you will subscribe, because if not, we'll both have to live in the shadows of never knowing what could have been. Alright guys, bye!